And now, Move the Sticks. 10 takeaways from Week 8. With Daniel Jeremiah, Bucky Brooks, and Rhett Lewis.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show here. DJ, Bucky, Rhett, and guys, we're going to get to our 10 takeaways here in just a minute, but there are a couple big news items I want to hit here before we get into the takeaways. Buck, I'll start with you here on the first one. Leonard Williams traded the Jets, shipped him really not far to the Giants for a third-rounder this year and a fifth-rounder in 2021. Your thoughts on that move?
Man, I'm surprised. I mean, I understood that they thought he was a valuable trade chip, but to send him to your crosstown rivals and to give the Giants an opportunity to maybe create a resurgence of his career, I don't know if I want to hear that. I mean, they got him out of the conference, which is something that you typically try and do for a trade. I'm just surprised maybe he didn't fetch more, but maybe that's what the market is on Leonard Williams. People don't see him maybe the way that we saw him when he was coming out of school.
2-6, right? Am I making that up?
Yeah, no, it's just you're not. They're 2-6 after the loss to Detroit on Sunday. It felt like that was a move that a true contender might go and make. And I hadn't really thought about a team that was in dire need of a defensive tackle, but the price didn't seem like it was too high.
No, look, they tried shopping him around the league. He'd been out there for a while, and that's all that they could get back in return. So that fifth, by the way, if he re-signs with the Giants, will elevate to a fourth. So if he ends up re-signing there, it's a third and a fourth-round pick. In this Jets roster, guys, it's in such bad shape, and defensive tackle is actually one of the positions where they have some depth, and then they potentially have some star power there with Quinnen Williams as he develops. But Leonard Williams going into a contract year, 0 sacks this season, and to me, the deciding factor, and I haven't talked to Joe Douglas about this is my own opinion, but when you look, and I tweeted out how bad this Jets offensive line is and how close they are to ruining a very promising career, in my opinion, of Sam Darnold's, you have to collect as many assets as you can, and you have to solve that problem. And it's not they need one guy, two guys. I think they need 5 new guys on that offensive line, and you better have some assets to go get that done. They stink. I mean, it is an all-time bad group.
Yeah. No, I can see that with the Jets offensive line. I will say this, going back to the Giants, the one thing that we know about David Gettleman loves investing in the big guys. And so with Leonard Williams, and we saw him do this week, K'Wan Short, who kind of exceeded expectations. If you can get the big guys up front right, it really takes a lot of pressure off the linebackers and the secondary. So maybe he's saying, like, look, let's go all in. Let's see if we can get a blue-chip player. Maybe he'll play like a blue-chip player for us, and it'll alleviate some of the other holes we have in our roster.
DJ, last thing I'll say on it, because I know we want to move on here, but Ian Rappaport also mentioning that the Giants are reportedly willing to move Janoris Jenkins, Alec Ogletree, and possibly Nate Solder.
Oh, you know what? I think you can get all those guys for a honey bun. I don't know if any of those guys. I don't know if any of those guys really excite me when it comes to that's who I want to trade for. Yeah. So I put all those guys on the market, and we'll see what it fetches back. I can't imagine
anybody taking the Solder contract in particular.
Oh my gosh, I can't imagine anybody really going on for any of those guys.
The only thing I can always think, the only team I could see doing that would be a team like Cleveland, who's desperate to try and get some tackle help, and we'll see what they end up doing there. Maybe the price is cheap in terms of trade compensation. You still got to pay the money. All right, one real quick thing here, Rhett. I want to hit you on this one. J.J. Watt done for the year. You know that Houston team as well as any. You got family that works there. Just your thoughts on that one.
I think that's a tough one, man, and that was as costly a win as I've seen in a long time for the Texans. I mean, it was a phenomenal game to watch with the way Deshaun Watson pulled that thing out at the end, but Laramie Tunsil went down in that game too, although we're told that injury is minor, according to Ian Rappaport. But
he should be okay.
Man, J.J. Watt done for the year. So now he's won 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards and also ended up on IR now in 3 of the last 4 seasons. It's been a rough go for J.J., man. I feel terrible for him. Feel bad for the Texans. I did just take a quick look at the Texans' remaining draft picks in 2020 just to see, even though Bill O'Brien said
they got left?
Slim and none.
They got a 2.
They got a 2. I'm seeing also a 5 and a 7 still available. I don't know. Is Vic Beasley available for one of those picks? You go get an edge rusher? I don't know. I'm just
look, it's tough. And J.J. Watt is like, I don't know if anyone expected him to come back and play the way that he played over the last year or so. He gave them terrific performance and production considering the number of injuries that he's had. But now that he's kind of on the shelf again. I do wonder what the Houston Texans will do. What's their playing when it comes to looking at their defensive line? They let Jadeveon Clowney go. They didn't really get a suitable replacement for him. Now you have J.J. Watt, who is on the mend. What used to be a strength, a dominant strength for the Texans is now no longer that. How does Bill O'Brien replace that, and how does he do it without having a lot of draft capital at his disposal?
Yeah, I think you can see that little clip there of Will Smith looking around the family room, empty, no furniture. That's Whitney Merciless right now.
Yeah, he's like,
what happened to all these guys? We had all these pass rushers. Where'd they go? Yeah. Just me. That's the last man standing. All right, let's get to these takeaways. Let's get it jump started here, and let's go with let's start with the return of Drew Brees. It was as good as advertised.
2nd down and 7. Brees in the gun. Murray to his right. 2 tight ends right. 2 receivers left. Brees takes the gun snap. Drops back, looking to throw. That ball's caught. Latavius Murray at the 10. Turns up field 5. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Latavius Murray.
Yeah, to me, look, Drew Brees, if he has a business card, it would just say professional quarterback. Go back and watching that tape. It was really teaching tape, just the way he was able to find any type of a breakdown they had. There was no play where you saw, oh, man, they busted, and Drew Brees didn't find it. They run one play where they're trying to run kind of a rub route on a crosser. It's almost like that elevator screen in basketball where you've got 3 guys coming one direction, 1 going the other way. And the play was obviously designed to go to the right where that guy's going to fight through the traffic, and then it's not there. And all of a sudden, out of the corner of his eye, Drew sees that they've busted on the backside, and he gets whips the ball out there. Then I was curious to see what about the arm strength. And Buck, when I went back, he has a 15-yard out that's on time, on the money on the sideline, which that tests your arm strength. And another one down the middle of the field hit Ted Ginn in the middle of the field, about 22, 25 yards. And those are drive throws. If your thumb's messed up, you can't make those throws. So I think Drew Brees 100% healthy and rocking and rolling.
You know, here's what's interesting. One thing that you talk about with Drew Brees, I think this actually may work in his favor when the Saints get ready to go for the playoffs. I think you remember the last couple of years when we've seen Drew Brees down the stretch, his arm doesn't necessarily have the pop. Well, what has happened with the thumb, they've kind of had a natural load management plan where he may be a little fresher down the stretch than we've seen in recent years.
Good point.
Also, I think when you look at the Saints, I think the team factor needs to be talked about. I think they may be the most complete team. When you look at all aspects of their roster, their offensive talent, the fact that Latavius Murray has gone for 100 yards in back-to-back games, you look at Michael Thomas continue to do what he has done, be a dominant receiver in the inside where you can't guard him. And then defensively, look, I know they hit on that year where they brought Marshawn Lattimore and all those guys, but this defense is actually playing very, very well. When I look at this team, you don't see glaring weaknesses, and I think that is one of the reasons why we have to consider them the best team in the NFC, even though there's a team that has a better record out there.
Just a quick one for me. Mark Ingram was so good in this offense. I think we all wondered, what kind of hit will they take not having that 1-2 punch. But Latavius Murray has been one of the best free agent signings this year. It's been so good, especially with no Alvin Kamara the last 2 games. I found it hard to believe he had his first receiving touchdown this past week. He got into the end zone. He's been so. And then Michael Thomas, watch out Marvin Harrison. He is on pace to break the single season receptions. He's ahead of schedule, in fact. So fun to watch those guys.
All right, Buck, what's next?
Deshaun Watson is playing like the MVP.
2nd and 2 at the Oakland 4. Watson gets the snap. Watson with the keeper right side throws back of the end zone. Caught. Darren Fells. Touchdown, Houston.
Man, look, Deshaun Watson is terrific, but when I look at this Texans team, I don't know where they would be without him. The way that he makes plays, the way that he bails them out of bad situations, I mean, he is really the most valuable player, not only of their team, but you can consider him of the league. The play that he made to really win the game, when he spins around, he gets kicked in the eye, throws a blind pass to Fells for a touchdown, that is unbelievable. And the thing about Deshaun Watson that is really, really impressive, watching him kind of grow and mature at Clemson and then watch him take the league by storm during that brief wave, he is a guy that he is athletic, but, man, he uses his athleticism as a last resort. He is willing to hang in the pocket and make those tough throws. Really, he is the ultimate quarterback when it comes to blending his athleticism with his pocket passing skills. He has grown into quite a remarkable franchise quarterback.
Yeah, the one thing I'll say real quick on that, Watson is phenomenal, but the way that the Texans have gone out to try to support him, not just on the offensive line, but at running back with Carlos Hyde, at running back with Duke Johnson, even the latest trade for Gary and Conley, he got targeted a few times in this game by Derek Carr. He got beat a couple of times, it looked like. I haven't watched the All-22 yet, but he stepped up on a huge play at the end of the game on that 3rd and 16 and wrestled the ball away from Tyrell Williams to force a Raiders punt. I thought that was huge. So we're kind of seeing all these moves that the Texans have made pay off.
Real quick, and then we'll get to the next one. My point just with the Raiders, if you look at it right now, projection based off what he's done thus far this season, Josh Jacobs projected to finish the season with 1,417 rushing yards and 9 touchdowns. So they have their back. He, again, just a solid game. He's 4.4 a carry. He's just consistent. On the season, he's averaging 5 yards a carry. So he's been outstanding for the Raiders. Definitely a big building block for their future.
That's what a first-round running back looks like, and I'll take us to the next takeaway. This should have been a first-round wide receiver. A man of international acclaim, Cooper Kupp, makes history in London.
10-10 our score with 4 minutes remaining in the half. Cooper Kupp in motion from the left side. It's a give, and now it's an end around. A toss back for a flea flicker, and Goff throws right side at midfield. It's Cooper Kupp with a block. Splits you down the right sideline. He will pick it in. Touchdown, LA! An end around, reverse, toss back, flea flicker for a 6.
That was a unbelievable play. Also, the move that B.W. Webb made on the ground in that play, go back and watch that. He looked like a whirly-bird spinning around. What was that? Yeah. Watch out for the Loch Ness turf monster out there, right? So here's what I'll say about Cooper Kupp. You put it into historical context with the Rams. They've had some phenomenal receivers in that organization. Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, Henry Ellard, top 3 all-time in Rams receiving yardage. Flipper Anderson, not too far down the line, but also has the NFL record for most receiving yards in a single game with 336. There was a time in this game where Cooper Kupp was on pace to break that record. He had 100 in the first quarter and then ended up with 220, which is the most ever in front of an international audience in the NFL. But Cooper Kupp will, if he stays an LA Ram, will end up as one of the best, if not the best, Rams receiver with the way that he's been playing. It's absolutely no question that their passing game runs through Cooper Kupp, and every one of his receptions in this game went for either a first down or a touchdown. That's a clutch player. He's the key to their passing offense.
Look, he is a key to their passing offense. He's been a terrific player. He is Jerry Goff's security blanket. I think the thing that we can see from the LA Rams is when they play clean football on offense, meaning they don't turn the ball over, they have a limited amount of penalties, this team is still as good as any team in the National Football League. I think what Sean McVay has to continue to do is kind of get back to the basics and stay on track. I think it's easy for creative offensive coordinators to get a little cute and to try and do too much. I think when the Rams keep it simple and they keep the main thing, I think we have seen this offense continue to be very, very effective in the National Football League.
When you play zone against the Rams, you get what you deserve. I mean, they're going to carve you up. Do not do it. I don't understand. They stayed in zone. We're going to do XO on the Aftermath today where I'll show you 3 dig routes where it is. I mean, it's the easiest pitch and catch you're ever going to see. It's just so easy, and they just kept doing it over and over again. They kept going 3-by-1, Buck, and they would just wear them out with those dig routes. And look, to me, at some point in time, I know you're a zone team. You're a man. You got to challenge these guys. Get up and challenge them. When you're getting torched like this, you got to get up in their face and try and challenge them. They never happened in this football game. It was bizarre.
Well, the Bengals are the worst total defense in football for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, look. This is all on Zach Taylor and that crew. I feel like the game plan was flawed from the start. And you're right, DJ. The blueprint is out there for how you deal with the LA Rams. You got to play tough and challenge their wide receivers at the line of scrimmage. You got to bring heat on Jared Goff. You cannot let him throw from a grassy knoll and just have all day and let these guys find open windows because they'll carve you up. And for whatever reason, the Bengals thought that was the best approach, and we saw the result: 200-yard day for Cooper Kupp and a big win for the Rams.
All right, I'll keep it moving here, boys. Let's go on to the game I was at, the Chargers. I'm going to get to my main point, which is the red zone defense of the Chargers, but I do want you to hear the last play of the game, both the happy version and the sad version. I guess we can start out with the happy version here with Matt Money Smith on the call.
Pinheiro for the win. The Chargers. Kick is up. And it is no good. The Chargers win. No good. Pinheiro misses. And the Chargers' losing streak comes to an end. They make just enough plays to get out of Chicago with a victory.
All right, that's the happy version. Let's go sad version here.
Come on, Eddie. Operation's got to be smooth. Patrick Scales on the
Come on, Eddie.
Come on, Eddie.
Come on, Eddie.
Here's win. Snap. Placement down by O'Donnell. Kick by Eddie Pinheiro. Kick. He's up. No! It is no good. He missed it as time expires. 17-16 Chargers the win. I thought it was good. An operation smooth. It twisted away left. And the Chargers end their 3-game losing streak.
That's not right. I thought it was good.
I thought it was good. That was an all-timer.
So wait,
look good. Go ahead.
Real quick, just a quick reaction to that. Look, I hate bagging on the kickers, but was there anybody watching that kick that thought it was going to go in? I mean, I'm sitting there like, this is going to be the most Bears thing ever.
Too. The wind was swirling.
All right.
Yeah.
Either team, by the way, right?
But to me, the key to the game, guys.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What was that?
I was going to say, if the Chargers would have had a game-winning kick, we all would have thought they missed too, right? I feel like either team, you weren't going to expect a game-winning kick.
Yeah.
It's been that way.
It's so unbelievable.
It's a fair point.
Yeah. When I looked at this game and I'm watching this game, and I just don't know what to make of either team. Like, when I look at the Bears are kind of a hodgepodge collection. Like, their defense is pretty good. Their offense is a bag of trick plays that have to be executed flawlessly over the course of the game for them to score touchdowns. And then their quarterback, look, I mean, people have taken him to task. I even took him to task last week, but he is not what you would expect him to be as a second overall pick, and it's really, really hard for a team to play around the quarterback position. And, man, I don't know what Matt Nagy can do, but they have to do something, because I feel like this defense has a loaded roster, and I feel like they're going to waste the prime of the careers of these guys that they have on defense.
Well, guys, look, when you watch this game, it was red zone defense for the Chargers that bailed them out, because the Bears had so many opportunities, and in those red zone opportunities, to me, it was a clear lack of faith in your quarterback, and that goes from Matt Nagy directly to Mitchell Trubisky. And there's people that you'll hear that think it's all Trubisky's fault. There's people that think it's all Nagy's fault. To me, there's a lack of confidence, and there's a trust issue in that relationship. And I'll give you a couple examples. 3rd and 9 in the red zone, 3rd and goal from the 9. They try and run just like a draw to Tariq Cohen. It gets like 2 yards. It's a give-up play on 3rd and 9, not even trying to attack. You go before the half, the sequence before the half, there's 25 seconds left. It's 2nd down. They have no timeouts. So your choices are, I can run it, but I can only run it once. If I run it, we don't score. We've got to get on the ball quick, spike it, and kick the field goal from the 1-yard line. Or I get 2 cracks at it if I want to throw it. If I want to put the ball in my quarterback's hands, we have 2 passes. If we don't do anything with them, you try it out there and kick the field goal. It's literally 1 chance versus 2. And Nagy chose, I would rather have 1 chance with the run game versus 2 chances with the passing game. And that told me all I needed to know about that relationship.
Zero confidence. It seemed like all over the field on that game for the Bears. I think you're absolutely right on that one. Buck, you want to...
what do you got here?
You want to take us to the next one?
Look, all I know is the 49ers look like title contenders.
Jimmy Ward buried McCaffrey, just grabbing him around the shoulder pads and heads first. So McCaffrey needs a play off. Reggie Boniface in, intercepted by Nick Bosa, fumbled the ball, picks it back up. He's running back the whole way, cuts inside the 20, makes a move on Kyle Allen. They finally drop Bosa on the 9-yard line. He intercepted the quick screen out left, then dropped the ball, picked it up, and then ran it back 41 yards, but he wanted to go 9 more.
There is no doubt Bosa is the best rookie defensive lineman I've seen since Aldon Smith, and I think he's better when you look at his complete game.
Wow. Best lineman I've seen since Aldon Smith, and Aldon Smith is pretty good. Look, here's what I'm going to say about the San Francisco 49ers and why they look like title contenders. Dominant running game, stifling defense. The only question I have about them, I don't know how good the quarterback is. And we didn't really get a chance to see it in this game, but we'll talk about the positives. 200 rushing yards. They are able to really jam it down people's throats. And the way that they were able to do it against the Carolina Panthers defense that I thought was pretty good was very, very impressive. And if they're able to continue to run the ball like this and dictate the terms with their defense playing like they're playing, they're going to continue to have the party that we saw break out in Levi's Stadium, because it was all fun. It was all giggles. It was everything. It was a celebration at the Panthers' expense, but they're going to have a lot of days like this with their running game and their defense playing like they're playing.
Yeah, guys, it was funny. I was on the plane with the Chargers coming back, and I'm watching the 49er game, and I see Bosa's pick. So Joey's just 20 feet ahead of me, so I just go walking up the plane. I go, "Hey, Joey, your brother just had a pick." He goes, "Nicky had a pick?" I go, "Yeah, no, he's got 3 sacks. He just had a pick." He goes, can I see it?" So I pull it up on my phone, and I show it to him. And it was so funny. He just looked at it. You could definitely tell he's a proud brother, but then he just kind of jokingly said, as only Joey Bosa can say, what a jerk. I have my best game of the season. Now he does this and completely overshadows me." Yeah. And then Rivers jumps in, and Rivers goes, "Man, Joey, your brother runs exactly like you do."
They do look so similar.
So funny. It looks like the exact same human being. It was funny because Joey Bosa was dominant. I think he had 4 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, and then Nick goes out, has 3 sacks and a pick. I mean, it's hard to have a better family day than that one.
That was fun. Well, I had to watch. I did game day highlights last night, so I was watching that game leading up to the show, and Bosa just dominated. And then the 49ers dominated in the run game. Tevin Coleman, my goodness. 4 total touchdowns on the day. He was inspired by the Hoosiers getting a big win over Nebraska to move to 6-2 in the season. Look, big day for the Hoosiers and for Tevin Coleman as well. I mean, that run game in San Francisco is about as good as it gets in the league right now.
Absolutely. It's a dominant run game. I can tell you, having played against that Shanahan run game before, when the original dad, Mike Shanahan, was in Denver and you had TD running, it is problematic because they get all the linemen running like elephants on parade, and then the running backs are able to cut back because they chop down the backside. So it's problematic, it's physical, it's intimidating, and right now they have so much confidence in the ground game, it really opens up the rest of the playbook. And look, even though Jimmy Garoppolo isn't playing at what I would call a high level, he's efficient enough to take advantage of a defense overplaying the run, which is why the 49ers offense is really so hard to difficult to defend.
All right, do you want me to take us to our next one here?
Let's do it.
Let's go. How about a little Minshew magic with a few tricks left?
3rd and goal from the 8. Minshew drops the throw. Minshew looks, scrambles to his right, looks, pump fake, still looks, pump fake, fires toward the end zone. Caught by DJ Chark, touchdown! Chark attack in the corner of the end zone. And the Jags extend the lead.
Oh, the old Chark attack. Like that one.
You like that?
Yeah. So,
there you go.
So look, here's what I'll say about Gardner Minshew. Week 6 and 7, after taking the league by storm with the mustache and everything and coming in for Nick Foles and really doing a nice job for the Jaguars, the last 2 weeks you started to be like, okay, when Nick Foles comes back, it's probably going to be time. This thing might have run its course. Then he gets a date with the Jets, and he absolutely took advantage. 3 touchdown passes in this game. He's got more multiple touchdown games than any Jaguars rookie quarterback in franchise history. He's got 5 games like that, and then he's the first rookie with 3+ passing touchdowns. But he is tied with Russell Wilson for the most extended play passing touchdowns, which means he's finding ways to get out of pressure, scramble, get a touchdown, and still find a way to make a positive play. Yeah. And that is what's most impressive to me about Minshew. And if he can keep this up, Nick Foles not eligible till their Week 11 game, which is right after a bye week. So I don't know, maybe there's still a decision to be made in Jacksonville.
Look, man, it's going to be hard to pull them the way they're playing. And I know that Nick Foles will offer more because he can do more things at the line of scrimmage. However, Nick Foles is most comfortable when he's able to play out of the shotgun. Leonard Fournette and the rest of the team operates better when they have more of a traditional under center style. So Doug Marrone has to make a decision. What is best for the entire team? Is it best for us to go back and do some of the spread stuff that makes our top big money quarterback comfortable, or is it better for the rest of the guys to have the low price quarterback that plays on the center and has developed a rhythm and chemistry with the rest of the guys? Tough decision for him to make, but I think it's one that we're going to see made very, very soon.
Yeah, he's made plays on time and off schedule. I know those off schedule throws get you a lot of the highlights and they're the fun plays to watch, but there's also times where you see Minshew hang in there and deliver the ball. The one thing that jumps out to me, and I think maybe you could come up with this information based off of his wardrobe, but there is no fear in Gardner Minshew. Absolutely none. And it's fun to watch. 13 touchdowns, 2 picks, boys. That's pretty darn good.
Yeah, that is pretty,
I'll take that.
Really, really good.
Not bad. What do you got, Buck?
The Patriots just take care of business.
1st and 10 for the Pats. Ball's on the right hash of the Browns' 14.
And James White's back in.
2 receivers right, 3 left. Brady takes the snap, looks over the middle with a pump. Dances in the pocket. Now he starts to roll to his right. Throws to the end zone for Edelman. Dives in. Touchdown, Patriots.
That's the way you move in the pocket. Woo! Great composure by the quarterback. Yeah, you see him in camp ducking underneath bags, doing these footwork drills. He sits, he slides left, slides back up, bangs out that right side, finds his guy Edelman. He's working man-to-man coverage, sees his quarterback's in trouble, breaks his route, finds him at the 2. Can't defend it when you give this guy time. 14-yard touchdown.
You know, when you watch this game, I don't think it was a very impressive performance by the Patriots, but I think it is great that it coincided with Bill Belichick getting his 300th win. And I think the reason why is because when you look at this team, this is a team that is just consistent. And I think their consistency forces you to play almost like a mistake-free game to have to beat them. You hear coaches all the time say, look, make the other team beat you. They will eventually make mistakes. And when I look at the Patriots, they just wait for you to fall apart. You kind of stumble over your own self. You stub your toe. You do something that gives them opportunities, and then they seize on those opportunities. And so for Bill Belichick to get the 300 wins, I think what he has done is really mastered the recipe of being able to win. And the best way to win is to not beat yourself. And we're seeing it is hard for teams to avoid beating themselves, especially when they play the Patriots.
You know, I thought if I could take the listeners behind the curtain here a little bit. You know, we all have a group text message when we're saying what takeaways we want to talk about on the next day. And so I remember reading Bucky's when he came in and said the Patriots take care of business. It was still the 3rd quarter. I was like, Buck,
it's over.
It's over.
They were in control. They were in control of the game. It was over.
They were down. They were up 14. I'm like, no, look, Buck's right, man. They don't beat themselves, and that's not the type of game that they were going to give up. You know what I mean?
All right, boys. I want to give you one point on this game. Yeah. So, Buck, our mutual friend, Joey Roberts, who does a lot of work with Trent Dilfer, passed this along, and this is fascinating to me. Joey's great. Obviously, right, you know him as well.
Yeah.
The top 5 league leaders, right, in snaps under center. So teams that aren't in the gun, teams that are quarterback under center, the top 5 teams spend the most time up there. Their combined record right now, 33-6. Here are the teams that are under center the most in the National Football League. The Vikings, the 49ers, the Rams, the Patriots, and the Saints. And this is the correlation here. Think about this. In college, in 2019, this season, do you know how many snaps the percentage is in college football of being under center? It's 10.2%.
10%?
So these kids that have 10%. So these kids, and Bucky knows this culture as well as anybody in the 7-on-7 world that we live in junior high, in high school, and in college, it is spread city, baby. And so you're a defensive coordinator. It's speed and spread and shotgun and run to space. And now all of a sudden you get in the NFL, and now you've got a quarterback putting his back to you, and you don't know, are they running the ball? Is it play action? I've got linemen coming at me. Then you can mix in a little bit of even some of the RPO stuff from under center. These guys don't know how to fit against the run. They don't know how to react off play action. I mean, there is no mystery to me that the teams that are under center are having tremendous success right now in the NFL.
Great point, DJ, and I'm going to take it even farther by looking at the Vikings, 49ers, and Rams all have a similar run game.
Yeah.
It's the old Alex Gibbs system, outside zone, stretch, movement base, bootlegs coming off of that run action, very successful. The Patriots and the Saints are chameleons. They can change it up. The reason why this brand of football works is because you talked about the shotgun and all these defensive coordinators putting speed on the field to defend the spread. Well, the thing that negates speed is straight ahead power. And I'm surprised that more teams haven't gone back to an old school approach, because when you have these 200 215 and 220-pound linebackers that aren't used to taking on lead blocks, not used to taking on fullbacks being able to get off blocks from guards and stuff, climbing to the second level. It is a tremendous advantage. It is also a reason why the running game is beginning to come back to prominence in the National Football League. You're seeing these running backs have these big games because the teams realize we can run the little guys off the field, and they're having success. And those teams that you're talking about, big in run game, big in play action, which is why they're really, really successful.
Two things I'll add to that. I'm interested to see that the Patriots are on that list. I know Tom Brady, it spends a lot of time under center.
Yeah.
But they have not had the success in the run game that they certainly had last year. Sony Michel, 21 carries on 74 yards, and he had a 16-yard carry in there. So you take that one out, it's 20 carries for 58 yards. The yards per attempt is down a lot lower than I'm sure they'd like it to be. And then on the flip side, the Browns, what did you love about what Freddie Kitchens was doing with the Browns, right? Getting some 13 personnel.
So it's funny. We had that conversation at the Combine with Freddie Kitchens. He was getting in 12 and 13 personnel, putting all the big guys on the field. And then this year, he goes away from it because he got too cute. Old school football continues to work in the National Football League. I'm just surprised more teams aren't doing it.
But the Browns probably had the most successful rushing attack against the Patriots in this game.
Yes.
Chubb goes for 131. If he doesn't turn it over, they're in much better shape on those first two of those first three drives. So that's an interesting point to make and one to follow. Yep.
Let's keep moving here, boys. Eagles, they run through the Bills.
It is 2nd down and 9. Wentz flanked on either side. 3 receivers. Wentz in the gun. Wentz gives it off again and running up the middle, picking up a first down and more at the 40, 35-30 at Sanders, 25-20, 15-10-5. Touchdown! Miles Sanders!
His first NFL rushing touchdown. Miles Sanders just breaks off the left side, and he outruns everybody, leaving all of the blue shirts in his wake for his first NFL touchdown.
We have been waiting for that to happen. He's so explosive, and this time he hit the hole in a hurry, and he went.
Yeah, this is a team that's now gone on the road and beat up the Packers physically. They just went on the road and beat up the Buffalo Bills. And when we think about difference makers, we often talk about quarterbacks or pass rushers. You know, who's a difference maker for this Eagles team is Jason Kelce, the center. When you watch all their big plays in the screen game, all the different things he can do, getting to the second level, he took Ed Oliver and washed him down the line of scrimmage about 12 yards on one running play. I mean, he is phenomenal, and he's kind of the guy that makes that whole thing go up front.
Look, when I think about the Eagles, I think, one, Orlando Scandrick having those comments come out, I think kind of galvanized the squad. 2, I believe Doug Peterson's his decision to recommit to the running game helps them. Look, I love Carson Wentz, and I think Carson Wentz is phenomenal. I think he has the potential to be an outstanding quarterback in this league, and we've seen him play at a high level. But they have to take some of the pressure off of him. I think for so long, coaches get enamored with quarterbacks and they want to give them more, and sometimes you need to give them less. When they run the football and they're committed to running the ball, he plays better. He may not put up the big numbers that the fantasy geeks like. However, he's efficient, he's effective, and really this team plays better because they also mask the deficiencies of the defense by playing a little more possession-oriented.
2 best games the Eagles have played all season. They run the heck out of the ball. Beat the Packers at Lambeau.
Yep.
And here beat the Bills in Buffalo. Run game travels.
Absolutely. All right, what do you got next, Buck?
Man, with the Colts, ugly wins still count.
Here it is. Snap, ball down, kick is up. It's on its way, has the distance, and it is. It's good! It's good! Adam Vinatieri knocks it down, and the Colts have the lead. The Colts have the lead from 52. The greatest of all time knocks it through, and the Colts lead it 15-13 with 22 seconds left. Holy my! Terry, over 50, no problem, and the Colts lead by 2.
Look, this is a terrific example of the Indianapolis Colts and why I believe they are a better version of the team than the one that we saw last year with Andrew Luck. They are a more balanced team. They have the running game working. They have a defense that can get stops and generate turnovers. And Jacoby Brissett is really playing very, very well as a game manager. Now, that's not a disrespectful term towards him, but I think what he does best, he understands how to kind of insert himself in and out of the game based on what they needed. We saw at the end when they needed to drive, he made more plays. We saw the athleticism step up. We saw him make plays from the pocket. He is exactly what they need. Now, how far can they go playing this way? I don't know. But I do know they're a very efficient, effective team, and they're one of those teams, they make you beat them, and most teams don't have the ability to do so.
Yeah, guys, I'm looking at this game real quick and flip it over to the Denver Broncos. They are rushing the passer better. I know Joe Flacco is upset they weren't more aggressive, and I tend to agree with Joe Flacco on that one. But the other takeaway for me on the Denver side, keep an eye on this one. Derek Wolfe had 2 sacks and from the inside. He's a name I've heard kind of buzzing around some of these trade circles, so we'll see. Maybe by the time this comes out, he'd be one that has been dealt. But I would definitely keep an eye on that name as somebody that teams are looking at.
Yeah, that's an interesting one to watch. For Jacoby Brissett, he comes off a game where he had 4 touchdown passes in a win and then bounces back. This one wasn't as impressive, but I will take the throw he made to get away from Von Miller over the 4 touchdown performance. Yeah. That wins games.
Yeah, that is what wins games. You need your quarterbacks to be able to deliver when it matters, and he was able to make a play when they really needed it.
No doubt. All right, let's get to our last one here. There's a couple errands you got to worry about with the Packers.
Rodgers along to the shotgun. Jamal Williams wide to the right. 3 receivers. Bunch to the left. Jimmy Graham slot right side. Snap. Rodgers looking. Pump fakes. Now still looking under pressure. Throws it right side of the end zone. Is it caught? It is caught in the back line of the end zone for a touchdown. A sensational play to Jamal Williams. My goodness. In the far right corner of the end zone. They beat Morris Claiborne.
Yeah, that was a ridiculous throw by Aaron Rodgers, one of the best you'll ever see, escaping and just flipping it almost like a shortstop deep in the hole, kind of submarine that thing across the diamond. It was beautiful. But Aaron Rodgers, we know what he could bring to the table. Now you get Aaron Jones rolling, and getting Aaron Jones rolling in the passing game in this one was huge. They were able to split him out. I do those Charger games. I see how they use Austin Eckler in the passing game, and this was literally the exact same play that Austin Eckler hit a home run on the Tennessee Titans last week. They hit a home run on in this one. They were able to find out it was man coverage, and once they had a linebacker and everything else cleared away, double move, see you later. That is a huge advantage when you can find that matchup with a guy like Aaron Jones.
So I'll say that I had an initial reaction, kind of like Matt LaFleur, but do you remember Home Alone when Macaulay Culkin puts the aftershave on for the first time?
Yeah, had his hands on his face. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I felt. How many quarterbacks around the league wouldn't even let me just toss that one into the stands as I'm running out of bounds? Wouldn't even try to keep that one in.
Yeah, I mean, it was a remarkable throw. It was even a better catch. But I think what we're seeing from the Green Bay Packers, we're seeing Matt LaFleur's influence on this offense. We're seeing the running backs more involved. And I can say this, I haven't watched the Packers for years, obviously because I have a close tie there. They never utilized the running backs like some teams, like the New England Patriots, have utilized the running backs for years in the passing game. But now we're seeing them. And Aaron Jones, 159 receiving yards and 2 touchdown receptions. This is the kind of impact that changes the way defensive coordinators have to defend your offense. When you have a running back that can be split out there and used as another wide receiver who also can give you the ability to run the ball and get those dirty yards, it changes the way they have to defend the Packers, and it's really going to open up the field for Aaron Rodgers. When you look at this team, just know Devontae Adams is coming back, and when he comes back, he's going to have more room to operate than ever. I like the way they're trending. The only concern I have about them, I really don't know how good that defense is. That defense is opportunistic, but it's not dominant. And I wonder in these matchups as we get into the playoffs, 49ers and Saints, can they go toe-to-toe with a heavyweight and win with their defense?
Jair Alexander's turned out to be a pretty good corner, huh?
Yeah, he's a really good
from
player.
Louisville.
He's a great player.
Yeah, he's been a really good player for him. It's a nice young secondary.
He's absolutely a really good player. The one thing I would just say is an underlying concern for the Packers, and we'll see what happens going forward, but giving up 5 sacks in that game and some of those throws, including the one we just played, the highlight throw by Rodgers, he was under a lot of heat in that game, and that's something that obviously did not happen the week before. The Raiders don't have much of a pass rush, and he was clean. This is the genius and the beauty of Aaron Rodgers is that even when you don't play great up front, he can cover a lot of that stuff up. But that was just one thing that I'm like, okay, we'll see if we'll keep an eye on that on pass protection-wise, how they are going forward. They play the Chargers this week, who can rush the passer a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes.
Bakhtiari and Balaga both missed time in this game at different points in the game, and this has been a really good offensive line as a unit. So if you start to lose a piece here and there, that could cause some problems going forward.
All right. That'll do it for us, boys. A little 10 takeaway podcast, some bonus nuggets there at the top. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have any questions for us, get on Apple Podcasts, drop us a review in there, and drop a question. We'll answer it on Thursday's show. Got another show coming your way tomorrow. So thanks for listening to Move the Sticks. See you next time.
Thanks for downloading Move the Sticks with Daniel Jeremiah, Bucky Brooks, and Rhett Lewis. For more, go to NFL.com/podcasts.